omulungi eyekumira entakera ku Decamos TV tukwebaza olw'emirimu egy'enjawulo gy'otusaako engalo ate mu ngeri ey'enjawulo ne tukwebaza olw'okwefiiriza ddatawo n'obudde bwo obw'omuwendo okutugoberera bye tukola. Eno ye pulogulaamu ye eŋŋanzi the deep talk analysis era nga bulijjo nze omulangira Ddembe ojjukwanjulira. Olunaku lwa leero tulina omugenyi ow'enjawulo. Ono senior citizen atembera mu gy'obukulu emyaka 74 aweereza eggwanga mu ngeri nnyingi nnyo. Okugeza mu 1985 yasulawo omulimu gwe ogw'obusomesa neegatta n'agenda mu nsiko okwegatta ku lutalo olwayita gavumenti eno mu buyinza. Olutalo nga luwedde yalondebwa okubeera omuyambi wa Lutaagi Major Fenhas Katerema eyali alondeddwa nga district eyali alondeddwa nga special district administrator wa Kasese. Eno gye yava mu 1990 okwegatta ku kitongole kya Uganda Habitat for Humanity nga country director. Mu 2012 omusinga wa Rwenzulu Charles Wezire Mumbere yamulonda okubeera minisita we w'ebyokwerinda. Omugenyi ono gwe mbagamba ye mwami Tembo Kisimbira nga mu 2012 eggye lya UPDF nga liduumirwa Lieutenant Peter Erelu naye nga mu budde obwo yali second division commander era nga ali ku ddaala lya brigadier lyasalako olubiri lwa Mumbere ne wabeerawo okuyisinganya amasasi. Kuno kwamala almost essaawa 2 gye lyaggweera nga Mumbere akwatiddwa jeeke mpaka mu mbuzi ekogga. Ono yasibwa n'abalala abambowa abasoba mu 2, abakazi n'abaana abato. Mu bantu abangi bamukwata nabo ye mugenyi waffe gwe tulina olunaku lwa leero. Mu 2017 nga bamaze okukwatibwa baggulwako emisango egyekuusa ku kulya mu nsi olukwe. Mu 2017 emisango gino gyabagibwako oluvannyuma lw'okusaba amnesty oba ekisonyiwo. Omwaka oguwedde kyemuva mwalaba nti Mumbere yasobola okudda e Kasese mu maanyi ng'omukolo we mwagulaba. Omugenyi waffe ye yasigalawo wano tiyasobola kwegatta ku Mumbere e Kasese. Sabo tukwaniriza. Nja kusaba obuze abatuwuliriza.
I'd like to thank you for having come to join me and inquire from me. It is true what you have said is a true statement. I am Tembo Kisimbira, former acting Rwenzulu
Premier.
I am 74 years old and I was born in the mountains of Rwenzori, a Seventh-day Adventist, born again Christian. 1966 is when I became a Christian. It is true, like you have said, I was a teacher in Kuwamba Secondary, a teacher in Kasese Secondary, Kuwamba, that was 1983, Kasese Secondary, that was 1983. Kuwamba was 1983, Kasese was 1984. And 1984, I mean 85, NRM took over the whole of Western region and joined it. Finally, 1986, after capturing the power, I served in the Kasese district as special district assistant. That is in the Kasese district, one of the cadres. I am card number 1 in the Kasese district. During that time, that was Katirima, Goa, they are all generals in the army. That is after Katirima, then Goa, after Goa, then Kabacha.
Abatamanyi retired Major Katirima okubajjukiza katono yali omwogezi wa UPDF. So former UPDF spokesperson.
Yes, I have not been following them. But what I know, I started with Katirima, after Katirima, Goa, after Goa, then late Kabacha. That one died. But the two, Katirima and Goa,
they are still alive.
Are still high-ranking of officials.
He retired.
Now, after that, when I was serving in the Kasese district as one of the cadres in the office of the special district administrator, like I have said, I joined Uganda Habitat for Humanity, where I worked on a contract of 12 years as international representative, international partners representative, and country director within that period. After that period, after my contract was over, then the district entrusted me for a period of 10 years working as the vice chairman, District Public Accounts Committee. Then after that is when I joined the Kingdom.
2012.
Now the Kingdom as the Minister of Security, after the Minister of Security, Minister of Finance, after being the Minister of Finance, to third Deputy Prime Minister of the Kingdom. Then after that is when another person was made the Prime Minister, whereby I worked under him. But because he was away in the Bundibujo, then I became the acting Prime Minister in his offices. During that office operations, when it came to 2016, obusinga bw'abenzulu, we always held anniversary coronation. So between March and October, actually that's 2015, I was very busy organizing the King's anniversary coronation, those months. And the chief guest invited for that coronation was His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, and whom I had invited on behalf of the Kingdom. Even the invitations that he has, it's me who signed them because I was acting now. The president did not come. Instead, he sent the Minister of Security. By then was Tumukunde. He's the one who came and witnessed the anniversary coronation, which took place, or which takes place every October 19th. The anniversary coronation ended very well. We had a very colorful anniversary. After the end of the anniversary, that is 2016, and that is October now, I started again organizing another function of Christmas. I had arranged with all the churches, interreligious council, to have a ecumenical prayer in the palace. To have what we call ecumenical prayer in the palace.
Joint.
Catholics, Church of Uganda, Seventh-day, Muslims, Pentecostal. That is to say, soon after the coronation, that is October now, then I started arranging that prayer, ecumenical prayer of all the religions. And this one was going to take place on 14th of December. Was going to take place on 14th of December 2016. But it did not take place. Because 27th of November, the palace was bombed by a joint of UPDF and police officers. But to me, my focus, my raising the funds, my getting the gifts from religions was focusing on 14th of December, a ecumenical prayer of all the religions. That's how we had arranged it.
My first question to you is, according to the 2nd Division's commander, then Brigadier Peter Eredu, now Lieutenant General, and former Deputy CDF, Eredu said that you people, we are planning to do treason. And they had collected enough evidence for that. I remember even the police spokesperson then, Afande Kawesi, showed us on TV the gold medals that we are going to give to the fighters after the success or after the victory of the struggle to overpower government. They also paraded to us pangas. They also said there were guns, that you had even trained over 2,000 people to make the mission successful. How true is this?
One, I was not staying in the palace. I was entering the palace like any other visitor, because the Prime Minister's office is in the town, and the palace is in the palace where the king resides.
But from your capacity as Prime Minister, we anticipate you know very well.
I go to the palace at 2. I mean at 8. I also visit the palace.
Just like any other person.
Just like any other person. I go to the palace when I have a point, or when I have a meeting
with the king.
We discuss and they disappear.
Or the matter to address.
Or any matter to address. I was not staying in the palace. That's one. Two, on the
fateful day.
When the scuff happened, fighting each other. I don't know, killing each other, fighting each other. I was in my home. Nikamaiba Parish, Kasese Municipality. These ones were arrested in November after the scuff. In December 15th is when I was called from my home in Kamaiba by the RDC's office. I thought we were going to discuss something concerning the security or concerning the arrest of all those people. But reaching there, I was arrested, dragged to Bisange police unit. From Bisange to Narufenya to Jinja prison, Jinja prison to Luzera. After 3 months, I was given bail by Jinja High Court. The cases read before me by court are here. This is
count treason, contrary to section 23, 1A, C and D, Penal Code.
Terrorism. You just read this one. Terrorism.
Treason, misprision of treason, and count terrorism.
Because all along I was asking why I was arrested along with those ones who were arrested from the palace on the scuff that happened in the palace. Wondering and asking why, then again they said the reason is this. The fact of the case is that creating of what? Of Yida.
Let me read for you briefly. Facts as disclosed by the prosecution. The accused was the Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Rwenzururu, known as Obusinga bwa Rwenzururu, under the kingship of Charles Wesley Mumbere, who was installed in 2009. This was after the king had been involved in a rebellion against the government for reasons that the Bakonjo were a marginalized group of a people. His late father, Isaiah Chirane, who desired to create a separate independent government known as the Yali state, had earlier in 1963 led an armed rebellion against the Toro kingdom, and the king sought to further the mission of his late father. It was evangelized that the Yali state would cover the districts of Kasese, Kabarole, Chegwegwa, Bondibujo, Chenjojo, Kamwenge, and Intoroko. So after the success of the rebellion, your kingdom, Yali state, was going to cover the districts of Kasese, Kabarole, Chegwegwa, Bondibujo, Chenjojo, Kamwenge, and Intoroko. Now, Mr. Chisombe, we have you here. How true are these facts displayed here? We expect you to be in the know of what is happening inside the corridors.
In 1962 to 1982, there was the Nzuru rebellion against the then government of Obote. And the 5 people died in the mountains of Nzuru. That scarf happened. And this is what they are saying is true. They are showing you that the father to Mumbere rebelled. It is true he rebelled.
It is gospel truth.
He wanted independence. By then, before 1962, the whole area was governed by the whites. And the whites themselves had already killed the others, the Nyamuswa, Kapoli, and the Bamwenda. That was 1921. Then Isaiah comes in 1962 to 1982. That period of 20 years was war between Bakonzo and the government of Uganda, Obote's government. It is true. It was a war of 20 years between the government of Obote and the Bakonzo.
So is it true that Mumbere wanted to proceed from where his father stopped in terms of debating?
That one I don't know. Because the kingdom has the parliament. The kingdom has the cabinet. The kingdom has all the councils. There is nowhere it be in the cabinet, it be in the cabinet, it be in the parliament, it be in the councils, it be in the regions. I have never heard or seen any minute made that the kingdom wants to have the separate state called Yali Republic. I have never heard that. And in any case, it is this government, NRM, that made Mumbere, King Mumbere, what he is. Because the other government, that is Obote's government, from 1962 to all that, they had never recognized him. They had never recognized the father, neither the son.
So it is
only NRM government that recognized him 207 and made him the king. Mumbere the king. Or made him who he is.
The whites have a saying.
So I am not wondering if this government, NRM, is the one that made him the king, or made him who is recognized as a king, after giving him all those variety and honor like any other king. Then again to continue fighting, then him again to continue fighting the very government that has made him who is. Me, I don't think I have ever been involved in such a scuffle.
Mr. Kisimbira, basing on your history, your history. You've been part and parcel of the guerrilla war that brought this government into power.
Fine.
Then Mumbere has a knowledge of military, isn't it? He has a rank in the army.
Yeah,
I think he's on the rank of a major.
General.
Major general.
He's general.
He's general.
Not major.
He's general.
But except what I should assure you is that the rebellion between 1962 to 1982, I was not involved.
Yes, right. Then, basing on that history of you being
so if he got all those ranks, general, what, that one I don't know because I was not involved.
So, basing on that history and the English saying that the apple doesn't fall afar from a tree, don't you think it is right to assume that people had a conspiracy, a plot to have this government cast out of power?
If they had it, like I have told you,
and you were mobilizing, the Ebru says you had over 200 people in the palace.
Some of them came in running on the day of the scarf. The 200 people, there is a difference between royal guard and people. People had come to the palace. Actually, that query has been coming now and then to the palace. Because they have been asking 200, more than 200 people were arrested from the palace. They are also asking more than 100 died, and they have been asking what were all those doing in the palace.
And they had recruited people from Congo.
That one, like I have told you, I don't know. But the number of people who were in the palace, the very people who were in the palace, came running to the palace to find out what had happened on the 26th in the town, in the administrative office of the Singaporeans, which was in the town at first. So very many people came running to see what was happening in the palace.
The attack first happened in the office in the town.
In the town, that was on the 26th.
Then the people ran to the palace.
To the palace for rescue.
How would you know this information when you are not in the palace?
When I was not well.
When we are not in the palace.
No, I also came to the palace and went back to my place.
Oh. So it is false information that you people wanted to conspire against the government.
To me, it is false. That one should be dealt with individually. Because I can stay with you in a house when I don't know what you are thinking and planning. For instance, a man like me here has 17 children. I have 17 children. But right now, I don't know what is each planning in his head. And that's why I'm telling you that me as Tembo Kisimbira, the whole of this plan, I don't know. Because there is nowhere we discussed it in any forum. It be parliament, it be cabinet, we don't have that minute. And actually, if they bring that minute, that here is the minute you are planning this. Because all the minutes of the forums of the meetings we had was either soliciting funds for coronation, either soliciting funds for the development, or collecting funds for like the arrangement I had by the time we were born. The ecumenical prayer.
Erero says you are in the know at the palace, especially the Omusinga, was in the know that the palace was going to be attacked. He justified that by saying by the time they got into the palace, it was empty. All the furniture, all the clothes, the wife and the children of Omusinga were out. Him only and one pair of trousers and one shirt that we are putting on, and the only things that were left in the palace. How true is that? Were you warned?
I said I can't tell. That is between, what you are telling is between Omusinga and Iriero. That one is between Omusinga and Iriero. Because Iriero, or the commander now, let me say the commander, is telling you what he found out in the palace. I was not there. If he has told you what he found there, that one I can't answer. It is between the owner of that palace and then the commander who bombed the palace. And not only that, even the bombing of the palace should be handled to an individual. An individual, that is the commander who bombed the palace. They should all answer. One, that palace I see, if I were the commander, or any professional commander, one would have cut water, would have cut power, would have cut food entering. And the rest of the people they are mentioning were in, would have surrendered and come out without then causing the death of all those people. So the commander should be held an individual, should answer what happened exactly.
Are you trying to imply that Errol was acted reckless? Is that what you're trying to imply? Or unprofessional?
Yeah. Well, because what happened there, what he saw there, whatever happened, I don't know. So,
in your point of view,
as far as that one is concerned, it depends to how he found it. But according to me,
they would have.
And now that was just the palace, the house of 200. Had he cut water, power,
food supply, things would have been not
that was even enough.
Comment about the gold medals we are going to award the fighters that they found in Omusinga's palace that were paraded.
Where?
They found gold medals. We were going to award the gold medals. They were paraded along with the pangas that they displayed on TV, that after the success of the struggle, these fighters were going to be awarded gold medals.
Actually, like what I have said, I awarded them when? Because the coronation had ended. Some of those activities were happening on coronation day. And coronation day had ended on 19th of October. So when they talk of those others, I don't know whether they were arrangement for which function now. I can't say much of what they found in the palace. Because these are the things, me, according to me, I am refusing. For instance, to me, according to me, within the period we were arrested and given the court bail, they had a dialogue committee between the kingdom and the government. During that dialogue committees, I was not involved, except when I was in the courts of justice. It's when I saw the Obusinga lawyers and the state lawyers bringing a form to me that, Mister, do you know what is happening now? I said, no. What is happening now is you people to sign the.
Before we reach there, there is a burning issue still at that place. Viewers, we are concentrating about the Paris attack because there are a lot of information that has been spreading around. So we need the Katikiro to explain more. Still, on the fateful day before, it is said that the president rang at the Mumbere and they had a discussion on phone, but the Mumbere decided to keep a deaf ear and a blind eye on the matters that were concluded. One of the matters that he should reduce the numbers of the Abambo that were in the palace from 200 to a reasonable number of 10-20. But the Mumbere decided to keep a deaf and blind eye. Is that true?
That one is true. Happened to him.
So that one is true.
It is true to Mumbere.
So this justifies why the attack was perhaps that way of bombing.
If that one happened, then I was not there.
You are not.
If the president had said, according to you, had said the number should be reduced, if he did reduce it, then it means what happened now was between the two.
You say there was no conspiracy against the government. The government says there was a conspiracy. Who is hoodwinking?
I am happy government did its democracy that it brought to the country by putting us before justice, courts of law, whereby a person like me said, thank you, government. Let us go to courts of law, justice beside. Then the very question you are asking me would have ended there. With who is guilty, then I will get satisfied. And that's why up to now I am in the courts of law, seeking for justice. Because I could not even accept that I was a terrorist. I could not accept that
You were a traitor.
I was a traitor to government. And actually up to now, that's why up to now me I said, let me have the sentence equivalent to this.
Pardon?
Up to now, I am still in court. So that the question or the query you have asked me should be asked to those people who signed the amnesty.
But there were negotiations prior Mumbere being fronted to court. Why did they fail? And you were in the midst of those negotiations. You even went to State House.
Yes, I went there.
Where did the negotiations fail?
You mean between me or between?
When the Mumbere was arrested, in that period, when the scuffle was still fresh,
True.
there were negotiations, and you led the team to State House.
True.
And I think within 3 days, after your first meeting with the president, in 3 days' time or 2 or 4, you had to go back and meet the president.
True.
That means there was still room for handling this thing outside court. Where did you people fail? Where did the negotiations fail?
Negotiations, according to King Mumbere and the rest, the negotiations did not fail. Because they agreed for pardon and for what they had in their minds, and they went home. It means the negotiations did not fail. What negotiations are you talking of that failed? It did not fail. They went home.
They went home.
Which is very grateful that they went home.
When did you last talk to him?
But me, I am still arguing about the way they accepted, and anyway, I don't know whether the same cases now slapped on me are the same cases that they went under. Because to me,
you're not a traitor.
To me, I'm not a traitor.
You're not a terrorist.
I'm not a terrorist. And they say we go under negotiation, and I accept and I go home. And this is what I'm saying. No, for the sake of going home, I will not accept that I was at one time a terrorist.
So that's the reason as to why you are still in Kampala eating dust.
Yes, that's why. Because I'm not going to accept that I was a terrorist. That's one. I'm not going to accept that I was one time a traitor to this government, NRM. I have never.
How have you survived?
If let me say this. If I accept that I was a traitor to this government of NRM, that I was a terrorist to this government of NRM, then what type of government did I want to be in? Let me tell you people. Like this government says it brought democracy. On the other hand, it brought it. One, the gate is open. The gate is open. If you want State House or to become the president today, you just go and pick the forms and apply. Like even the amateur and premature boys who are born in this government are doing. They are going smartly, pick the forms, apply that they want to go to the State House. Why the whole of me, Tembo, Kisimbira? There is that opportunity of picking the form, apply or fill it, and say today I am the candidate of becoming the president. NRM has brought that chance, and it is open, and even the children are applying. Why the whole of me choose to become a terrorist? when that gate is open.
And a traitor.
And traitor.
Huh?
When that gate is open, it's open.
When did you last talk to your friend Mumbere?
I have not been talking to him. The last I talked to him was before he went to Kasese.
When was that?
That was last year.
And what was he saying? You called? He called.
I was asking him about the amnesty. Then up to now, I have not. Neither the president, I have not talked to him up to now, all of them.
So what was in that, you say the amnesty agreement was pinning you to accept these charges? And is that what you refused?
Individuals. Everyone was signing the amnesty form, consenting to have been a terrorist, consenting to have been a traitor to the government.
So Mumbere also signed that?
I have not met them, but according to the lawyers, they said those are the forms. The rest have signed. Then me, I said, is it the real forms they have signed? They said yes. Then I said, me, in my life, I have never been a traitor to any government. I have never been a terrorist to the community to sign this. I said, if there has been dialogue, negotiation, then it should have ended in another way. Like Kaihura was released. Was he given also amnesty? Like Kaihura was Kaihura given also these ones?
We don't know. How are we surviving in Kampala?
On the wealth I made in a period of 74 years.
Because you're smart.
On the wealth I made
in
a period of 74 years. And has been destroyed in a period of 8 years.
Pardon?
The wealth I made in a period of 74 years has been destroyed in a period of 8 years. Except now the question should be, how are you going to survive ahead?
So you've sold everything?
I have sold everything. I have sold my land in Individual. I have sold my land in Fort Portal. I have in Kabarole town. I have sold my land in Kasese. Actually, even a burial land. I have sold houses, rental houses in Kasese. So within that period, I have been selling my wealth.
On gunpoint or?
No, for the purpose of maintaining me in the city, in a confinement, in isolated.
So you're here in Kampala is to be straight, in exile.
I'm in exile.
But you are granted bail.
I am in exile. I even saw this one writing it. I am in exile. This is monitored.
But you were granted bail, which means you can access any
No,
time.
I don't.
Why?
I am confined in Kampala Wakisu, not to go beyond that. I don't go, and I don't move further because I don't know the boundaries of Wakisu and the next districts. I fear to go beyond that, fearing to encroach to another district. Otherwise, I am confined in Kampala, and I don't move. I have written letters; they are not replied.
To the president.
Yes, I have written letters. I have written letters to Justice, to Chief Justice. They are never replied. Because I'm still imagining arresting someone and confining him for 8 years.
This you wrote on the 26th of January.
And confining him for 8 years. But all in all, like I have said, so long as government handed me to courts of law, that is justice, I will continue.
So you had a telephone conversation with your Mumbere?
No. You mean before?
No, after he was released from prison?
No, I have never had.
But you said you spoke to him last year?
Before he was released.
Before he was released?
Yes.
Physical?
No, it was just a telephone.
Telephone?
They had never allowed us to meet. When he was here, they didn't allow us to meet. So that one, the period of 7 years ended before we see each other.
So how was the situation in the locker?
You mean whose situation?
Yours. An old man in prison. How was the situation?
My situation in a locker, physically and psychologically, torture, I faced it in Bisange. Because even a police officer, a lady, who gave me a cup of porridge was detained for 3 days for having given me a cup of porridge. That was the highest physical and psychological torture. After that one, I was taken to Narufenya. Narufenya, yes, Narufenya was tough, but it was good for me. From Narufenya, I was taken to Jinja prison. Jinja prison, I was tortured.
Tortured how?
Because also a woman, senior woman prisoners officer, who gave, when I got sick and I didn't manage to eat portion, being kind and gave me food, which was different from portion. He was dragged to the disciplinary committee, threatened to be dismissed for having done that. Transferring me from Jinja prison to Lucero, it was a request. It is me who applied. It is me who asked court to transfer me from Jinja prison to Lucero prison. Because the relationship between me and the staff in Jinja prison, Kirinya prison, was not there. So it is me who asked court to transfer me from Jinja to Lucero. And they asked the other side, the commission, to transfer me. I remember he refused. Court also summoned him to appear in court. Why he has refused to transfer me from Jinja to Lucero.
And what was his justification?
When they summoned him, like today, the day he was going to appear in Jinja now, High Court, then they transferred me, actually even at night, to Lucero. Very late to Lucero. So that the next day, he sent his deputy to the High Court. When the deputy came to the High Court, and when the magistrate or the judge asked him why he has refused to transfer me from Jinja to Luzira. He said, no, you asked him who is there. You asked him whether he's in a Luzira or whether he's in a
And you had been transferred.
Yes, whether it was right, I was already in Luzira. I said yes, I am in Luzira.
So
then they said, but the question of saying when I was taken there, I just left that.
But you were there because we hear these people, they know supporters as a normally released. They normally claim that they were whipped. Was there such an incident with you?
Of whipping?
Yeah, of you being whipped?
That was on these small programs. But on me, it wasn't.
So you were arresting from a VIP?
To me, it wasn't. This question of beating me, it was not there actually.
It was not there actually.
It was not there. It was not there. And actually, if that one is done, that one is done by an individual, by a disciplined officer. If it is done in a prison, it is done as an individual or who is not disciplined, but it's not the arrangement of the government.
Opposition figures normally claim that the fracas we normally face here is created by government in a way, in the end, to help it gain votes from the people and confidence that government is too strong in security. Do you agree with that?
Come again?
Opposition figures normally state that the fracases that we see happening, for example, that incident of yours in Kasese, the support of government in Kasese had declined. So government thought of a way it can gather support and confidence in it. So it ended up creating such a fracas, such that in the ultimate end, it can gain back the lost trust and the votes. Do you agree with that assumption?
With that one,
in fact, to be brief, the situation was intended to politicking. There was no serious matter.
That one, like I have told you, according to me, we don't have politicians, good politicians in Uganda.
We don't have what?
Politicians or good politicians.
You have what?
Politics is the science of managing the community.
Right.
To win it on your side. And the first thing to do with the community is to present your program to the community, and then they follow. And then they judge between the two. The first thing for you to do, if you are a politician or a good politician, is to present your program, your manifesto. Then the community judge from there. But there is no way you can say you are a politician without a program, and you start confusing the community. If you do that, you will face it rough. Except there is where, like you have said, where government or can say we want this, and you say no when you have the evidence, or when you are like me now, where they say you sign, like even the Attorney General and his office and the DPP's office are saying, now since your king has signed and your fellow members have signed, you also sign. We don't go by that.
If you met the president now, what would you tell him?
If I met him, I would tell him who I am. I would tell him, you know me. I would tell him or any other person or any other senior in this government. Government, what we call government, knows you even more than you. For instance, in Kasese, the president, his brother Salim Saleh, and their son, they are all generals. And they have known Rwenzori since 1985. They know what is happening in Rwenzori. They know who is the terrorist there. They know who is the enemy of Rwenzori. There is nothing they don't know. If I met him, I would say, you tell me, be honest. Am I a terrorist?
You're asking the president?
Yes, I would rather, you have said, if you met the president, what would you ask?
You're asking, am I a terrorist?
I would ask him, right from 1985 to date, you are accounted, Rwenzori is under your control. That is almost 40 years. Almost 40 years. To be sincere, there is no any enemy, any terrorist, any what, you know them. Actually, they know them. Those three generals, they know who is a bad man in Rwenzori, who is a good man in Rwenzori. They are aware. Other than saying, since the situation happened and your king has signed and your fellow friends have signed, you also sign. Other than that, am I a terrorist? Am I a traitor to this government? I am not.
Then if you would meet your friend in Mumbere, what would you tell him?
Tell him what? I only say thank you. I even congratulated for what he did to go
to sign amnesty, accept the charges,
back home, and to let the rest of the people suffering in the prison to go home. I congratulated for what he did. Reason, because the 4 months they took negotiating, talking, I don't know the background they reached to.
So you congratulate him upon having accepted the charges.
Having gone home.
Hey. Now, Minister Kisimbira, though it is somehow close, in 2009, I believe you were there.
2009?
Yes.
When he was...
No. 2009, we had an incident here of the Uganda Kayunga flankers.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think the situation that happened to your king of being checked by ordinary police officer can happen to the Buganda king if we found ourselves in the same situation?
Are you a Muganda or?
I'm a Muganda.
You are a Muganda. It is good you are a Muganda. I must tell you this one. Just a layman, Obote. burnt all the kingdoms. A layman, burnt all the kingdoms, and nobody said. He just said, no more kingdoms, and all of them, except this one of Prince, because it was under rebellion. It is only which remained operating, but the rest, nobody talked. But the mass of this government, when it came in, today you are celebrating what?
31st coronation anniversary.
You are celebrating 31st, which is on the mass of this government which is in power. And I want all the kingdoms, all cultural institutions, at least to respect that one. At least to respect that one. That this government or this man restored these kingdoms. But the way these kingdoms behave to the government, that one alone shows. I don't know whether they are whether they have it in their head that he could as well say no more kingdom in Uganda. Uganda is a republic. We don't have kingdoms in Kenya. We don't have kingdoms in Tanzania. We don't have kingdoms in where? In these other places. It is only NRM that is giving you that chance. Kingdoms, I mean kingdoms, or cultural institutions. Although they are called cultural institutions, but it is this government that is giving that chance.
So you are telling them not to misuse the chance?
Why? Any cultural institution or kingdom should not misuse the chance.
It has been a great pleasure to have
and that's why I'm telling you, you people, some of you have been born yesterday. When it's a state, I have even been telling these religions, Manya Pentecostal, Manya what, can say no more religion or no more Pentecostal, no more religions are disturbing. There and there, you stop. Whether it is a religion, you stop. The state can do that. Can say no more cultural institutions. So the only alternative is to cooperate with the government and the power, which has given a chance to religions, even when they are not, some of them are not supposed to be there, to cultural institutions, and more cultural institutions are coming. At the end of the day, you will find every tribe having a cultural leader. But the only thing is to cooperate with the government. Me, what I'm refusing is to drag. If they feel you have misbehaved, then they drag everybody like I'm being dragged here and alleged to be a terrorist.
Mr. Kisimbira, as we close off, you are 74.
I'm 74.
The exact age of you being carried by the angel of death anytime, right?
True.
So will you be happy to be convicted if found guilty?
One, I am happy when I was in court on trial, pre-trial. Judge, when reading the ruling, say count number 1 If you are guilty, it's death sentence. Count number 2. Number 3, if you are guilty, it's death sentence. Have you heard? I said I have heard. 74 years I have now. Actually, I am going to 75 years.
You've eaten some good Christmas.
If I am guilty, these are good sentences to me, and they should not change it. They give me this sentence because that's why I want justice. And I don't think there is justice that will tell me I was a terrorist, I was a traitor, unless that one is not justice. He's in panic because he has heard that I am taking United Nations, African Union, European Union, and East African Community to the International Court of Justice.
Why?
And he's panicking, thinking the world or the country will think I am doing it on behalf of the institution, Renzo. I am not doing it on behalf of the institution. I am not doing it on behalf of government. I am doing it on behalf of peace lovers of Rwenzori region or Basin. Those 4 organizations, that is United Nations, African Union, East African Community, and European Union, have been in Rwenzori for all that long, claiming to be peace lovers, handlers, to be security handlers. Yet Rwenzori has had constant wars that has left orphans, widows, arrests, when these organizations are watching. To the extent that even when the Congo government, when the Uganda government are fighting these rebels or are fighting these wars, but for them they keep watching. So me, I am wondering, other than maybe rooting, what else are these people, these organizations claiming that they are peace handlers and security? What are they doing? For that reason, that's why I said, to me, these organizations, I'm taking them to International Court of Justice to explain what they are doing in Rwenzori Basin. So when he heard of that, what I can tell now is already now on parallel, to the extent that he even wrote this letter
To the president.
to the president,
Denouncing you.
that he's not a part of that, of what I'm thinking, dragging the organizations to court of justice. But I don't think Congo government, Uganda government, with the effort they are putting in fighting the rebels, in fighting the wars, they would also love these organizations which are there for the purpose of helping in fighting the enemies, in solving the issue, which I don't think.
So, in short, the African Union, the United Nations, the East African Community, in the Kasese Basin, are there to exploit, like the case is in Congo.
Yeah, Eastern Congo and Western Uganda. Rwenzori Basin, the mountains, that's what we call the mountains.
Tembo, Kisimbira, Eyali, Katikiro, Rwenzori Kegiro. To them all,